Israel's recognition of Somaliland as an independent state was swiftly rejected by a host of powerful countries, regional blocs, and international organizations, turning a diplomatic announcement into a major geopolitical flashpoint across the Horn of Africa and the wider Islamic world. A war of words quickly erupted between Qatar and Israeli minister after the December 26 declaration, the deep political rifts exposed by the move. Qatar's foreign ministry issued a strongly worded statement rejecting the mutual recognition agreement between Israel and Somaliland, framing the announcement as a reckless and illegitimate step that lacks respect for Somalia's sovereignty. Doha warned that Israel's decision would undermine security and stability in the already fragile Horn of Africa, potentially fueling new tensions in a region that is critical for Red Sea shipping lanes and broader Middle Eastern security dynamics. Qatar's foreign ministry said, quote, "The state of Qatar expresses its unequivocal rejection of the announcement of mutual recognition between the Israeli occupation authorities and the Somaliland region, and affirms that this step constitutes a dangerous precedent and a unilateral action that contravenes the principles of international law, undermining the sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity of the sisterly Federal Republic of Somalia." The ministry affirms that it would be more appropriate for the Israeli occupation authorities to recognize the state of Palestine, whose right to establish an independent state on its national territory is recognized by the international community, and to work toward a sustainable end to the war on the Gaza Strip, rather than continuing to undermine international legitimacy and pursue reckless policies that contribute to heightened tensions and instability in the region. Unquote. Qatar's statement was swiftly slammed by Israeli Minister Amichai Chikli in a pointed response on X on December 27th. In a seemingly sarcastic rebuke, Chikli declared that he categorically rejects the recognition of Qatar as a state, turning Qatar's own diplomatic wording back on it and escalating the dispute into a public spat. Chikli said, quote, "I categorically reject the recognition of Qatar as a state. Qatar is not a state. It is a family business, a mafia state whose every so-called achievement is the result of despicable bribery and corruption. It finances terror and bloodshed and exports Islamist indoctrination across the West." Unquote. Israel has become the first UN member state to formally recognize Somaliland as an independent country, breaking with decades of international reluctance to treat the territory as separate from Somalia and setting a striking precedent in African geopolitics. Regional experts say the decision reflects Israel's strategic interests near Houthi-controlled areas along key maritime routes, tying the move directly to Israel's broader security calculus in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. Somaliland lies just across Yemen, where Israel has conducted extensive airstrikes and other operations against Iran-backed Houthi forces, making the territory a potentially valuable vantage point in any confrontation. According to an Israeli think tank and commentary in regional media, Somaliland could serve as a forward operating base or logistical hub for missions aimed at countering Houthi threats to shipping and regional security. Somaliland has also recently been mentioned in reports as a possible destination for displaced Palestinians from Gaza amid ongoing regional conflict. Somaliland officials were quoted as saying they would be willing to absorb up to 1 million Gazans, a claim that has sparked widespread debate and controversy. Reports suggest Israel's recognition decision came after years of quiet engagement and intelligence contacts involving Mossad, with discreet visits, security talks, and exploratory political contacts laying the groundwork long before the public announcement. Major regional blocs, such as the Arab League and the Gulf Cooperation Council, issued statements condemning Israel's move, calling it a violation of international law and Somalia's sovereignty that could destabilize the Horn of Africa. The African Union and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation also rejected the recognition, stressing their unwavering support for Somalia's territorial integrity and warning that unilateral recognitions like this set a dangerous precedent. Somalia denounced the Israeli decision as a deliberate attack on its sovereignty and unity, arguing that it threatens to undermine regional peace efforts and embolden separatist or breakaway movements across the continent. Somaliland declared independence from Somalia in 1991 amid the chaos and violence of a civil war that shattered the Somali state. Since then, the territory has run its own government, elections, security forces, and institutions, functioning in practice as a sovereign entity as it struggled for decades to secure formal recognition on the world stage. Today, more than 3 million people live in this overwhelmingly Muslim-majority territory along the Gulf of Aden.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.